Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe des E-Talk und bei mir aus aktuellem Anlass Orestone Mining, David Hottman. Ich kenne ihn schon seit 20 Jahren. Ähm, die Hi David, I'm I have a conflict of interest. Ich bin Aktionär. Und ja, die Aktie Orestone, gehen wir gleich durch die Präsentation. Warum heute? Aktueller Anlass. Sie haben die erste Probeentnahme bei Ihrem neuen Goldprojekt in Argentinien gemacht. Das ist vor ein paar Wochen ist da ein Announcement gewesen. Und ja, die Aktie hat ein bisschen darauf reagiert. Man sieht es bis jetzt wenig Freude gemacht, aber ein bisschen Volumen kommt jetzt auf. Es könnte jetzt sein, dass wir jetzt den Turnaround hinkriegen und das Key-Projekt dazu ist eigentlich das neue Projekt in Argentinien. David, thank you for your time. And I said in my German introduction, first, I have a conflict of interest. I'm a shareholder. Second is the performance in the last, or not the performance is not the right word. The market, I must say, is really frustrating for me. We have today a new all-time high on the gold price. But when we look at then the resource market, even by the bigger ones, and then we look to a junior market is really frustrating. When somebody tells me 15 years ago that we have a gold price of $3,000 per ounce and the junior market is so depressed like we have it now, then I say you're crazy. But it's real. I have no clue what the people think, where the resources come from. We see now a little bit also with Trump, with all this tariff was coming up. He yesterday say he make tariffs on copper. I say, huh? Why he do make tariffs on copper? He need copper and hurt only his industry with them. So a little bit crazy world, but gold is in favor, and you have a new project in Argentina. So
Yes.
first is why Argentina? Maybe you can give us here a little bit intro and what do you know about this project?
Argentina has been a very underexplored prolifically mineralized mineral exploration region for many years. If In the country of Chile, right next door, there are government smelters and government processing facilities. So anyone with a burrow and a pick can go out and collect up rocks and take them into the government processing facility and basically sell them to the government after some assays. Argentina has never had a system like that. So mineral exploration in Chile has been very thorough, and the whole country has been prospected. Argentina, not so much. It's a country that's never really embraced, so to speak, the small miner. And so there are opportunities abound in most minerals. I don't think that there's any mineral that has been exhaustively explored and produced in Argentina. And as an example, there are big lithium deposits in the region that we're in, some huge copper deposits and that are being pushed towards development, and gold and silver. And not too far south of us, Frank Juster has a new company focused on silver. Just to the west of us, a couple of hundred clicks, First Quantum has a 2 billion ton copper deposit called Taka Taka that they're pushing forward. And RTZ, as well as the Chinese, have some big salar lithium deposits that are being developed as well. So tremendous mineral wealth and a low level of general exploration. So what we've been able to acquire, the Francisca project specifically, is a gold silver project that was discovered in the late 1990s and drilled very little exploration drilling in 2006. And so it's a zone that is exposed on surface. It's very exciting for us because it represents an opportunity for an open pit heap leach deposit and subsequent mine development. And we've been involved in numerous projects like that in the president of the company through Greenstone Resources and my partner and I, Gary Nardine, through Bema Gold, Eldorado Gold, Nevada Pacific Gold. We've been involved with a lot of open pit heap leach projects. And so this is a territory where there haven't been a lot of those deposits and discovered and mines developed. So it's a very exciting region for us to be exploring in.
Uh, we know exactly, especially as a European looking on Argentina, we know a lot of problems what they have in the past. But with the new president of Argentina, it looks like that we have now a major shift, pro business, also pro mining. Do you see some lights for it's easier to get in permits and so on and so on?
Well, most of the permitting is at the regional level, or the provincial or the state level, as it is, and the umbrella, the overall federal policies are very, very positive, and that will trickle down to the individual states. Um, the lithium price having collapsed has really put the government in a position where they really want to focus on mineral exploration outside of lithium, in other words, copper, silver, gold. So yeah, we sense that there's an easier time with permitting, or your applications are going to be looked at instead of a lithium project having a priority review on the permitting side. Generally, it'll ease the with the slowdown in the big lithium project developments. It will free up more contractor time and equipment. So prices will ease a little bit, permitting's a little bit easier. So yeah, it's a net positive. It's very difficult to point to one item and quantify it, but as a generalization, it's very positive what's happening in Argentina right now for mineral exploration and development.
Mm. Today, you announced that your first results of your exploration. You have some sample. You take some samples to reconfirm all the works. Then, for sure, that is very the old works are very long ago, so they're not 43-101 compliant. And so, how the results, the first results, looks like?
I'm sorry, what was the question? How are
Well, the first results from the exploration, from the press release, what you're coming up today, how the results looks like, or what you is this exactly what you expect?
right? Well, based on our experience in the past, um, 20, 30 years ago, 1 gram a ton was probably the industry average on an open pit heap leach type of project. Today, because of a lot of those deposits being exploited, the industry average is probably 0.5 or 0.6 grams per ton on an open pit basis. And what we're seeing on our project, surface values are in a lot of cases multiple grams. Today we announced that 11 out of 20 check samples on the southern zone. We have 2 zones on the project, and you'll be able to see those on the PowerPoint presentation on the website on the target overview. And so it'll show the north and the south zone. Well, on the south zone, we announced today 20 samples. 11 of those samples were 6 grams a ton. And so we've been involved in putting mines in production in the past that were 1 gram a ton or about that. This is a pretty exciting project. You can build ounces very, very quickly. Our profit margin back then in Eldorado, as an example, $320, $330 gold. So it's almost 10 times higher today. And our cost basis was $200 an ounce or $250 an ounce, because it was a very small mine. Today, what we see on the San Francisco project is an opportunity to outline and develop something that's much, much higher grade. It's a very exciting time for us.
When I look at the older press release, when you say you acquired this project, there was also a note that 2006 there was, I think, 13 drill holes drilled so far in this project. Do you have any results? Do you know what their results coming out of that, or do you think what they may be making wrong?
Yeah, the drilling that was done in 2006, the zones are orientated on northwest southeast basis, but it's pretty much just call it north south. And the drill holes were initiated or started beside the deposit and drilled alongside the deposit. If that makes sense. So they weren't drilled across the deposit. We're not exactly sure what they were testing, but what we're seeing is that we've located the drill holes. We've located most of the drill holes and been able to get an orientation on those holes and confirm that yes, they were drilled more north-south, and the angle of the drill holes as well. We feel that not very many of the drill holes, probably 2 or 3, intersected the deposit. What was reported in press releases, there were 10 to 15 meter, numerous 10 to 15 meter intercepts of really good grades of gold, and they said that they were not reporting. There was low grade in between, but they weren't reporting anything below 1 gram a ton. So in today's world at $3,000 gold, 1 gram a ton is almost $100. And $100 a ton is fantastic. Also, the previous drill holes were drilled with core drilling or diamond drilling. And in diamond drilling, you use high pressure water as part of the process to keep the drill bit cool and to move the external fragments up to the surface, leaving just the core or the barrel to be recovered and processed for assaying. With this type of deposit, you have a lot of disseminated gold on the fractures of the rock, and the high pressure water tends to wash out the gold. And so our experience in the past, we've had the La Colorado project, we experienced in drilling an extension to the deposit up to almost 10 times or call it to 80%, 90% of the gold was washed out, leaving in that particular case 0.3 grams per ton, and reverse circulation drilling gave us 2 grams a ton. And when we were mining it, we confirmed with truck samples that it was 2 grams a ton. So diamond core drilling with the high pressure water can really be a disservice, and that's what was done in the past.
So that's mean when you drill here this project, it will RC and not core.
That's correct.
And
that's
RC
correct. And also,
and the RC is also cheaper.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yeah. Yeah, our initial quotes are $125 a meter. And then you've got to add on assays and geologists and lodging and food and that type of thing. But it'll be very cost effective to drill a deposit off like this.
And 100 meter or 150 meters is not really deep, so you can drill it out really quick. So
that's right. Say for instance, you're drilling a 100-meter drill hole, and your all-in costs are $250 a meter. Then it's a $25,000 drill hole. And while that sounds like a lot, we should be able to build a resource on 50-meter centers. So in other words, you would at some point you're going to be doing more exhaustive trenching on the surface, and you drill down and go through the zone at 50 meters and at 100 meters and 150 meters, and then you do another line 50 meters along strike, and you're developing millions and millions of tons of material very, very quickly and cost effectively.
Mhm, mhm. So, what's the plan now with this project?
The first phase of exploration is going to be about, it's going to encompass mapping and sampling, permitting in preparation for drilling. And that'll be about 600 samples and a little bit more detailed mapping and resampling of the trenches and some of the intermediate areas between the trenches to get a little bit more of a flavor or profile. But what I can say right now is there's an awful lot of sampling that's been done. We have the numbers, the locations, but as you mentioned earlier, because of the historic time frame, they're non-43-101 compliant. So we've got to go out and redo a lot of that sampling. But we're seeing multiple grams a ton. I mentioned a little bit earlier that we announced today 6 grams a ton of 11 samples that were 6 grams a ton out of 20. All of those samples, the high grade samples, were cut to 10 grams a ton. But there's numerous samples that are 1 ounce a ton, basically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. When I look at the pictures, it looks like very high. On which elevation is this?
Right. We're about 3,400 meters. And while that sounds high if you're standing at sea level, the valley is 33 and the top of the hill is 34. And it's not really jagged peaks. It's well-rounded hills or well-rounded mountains. And so it's easy terrain to get around in, to build roads, to traverse, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And also back in the Bima days, Refugio, which was a 6 million ounce deposit that we were involved in drilling off, that was put in production, and I think it's about 4,000 meters, maybe a little bit lower than that, but about 4,000. And Chevron had developed an open pit heap leach mine a little bit farther north than Bima in at that time in Chile. And I want to say it was 4,500 meters,
Mm-hmm.
4,700 meters. So this elevation is certainly not an issue. And there's also virtually no vegetation. There's no competitors for workforce, for water, for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's a good area to be able to develop.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we know exploration costs money, right? And money is always by exploration or the junior companies a problem, especially in these times. So how the financing looks like, what you're looking for? You're looking for money or not, or what is the plans here?
Yeah. Right now, the company has debt of about 200,000 Canadian dollars. That's mostly been, or almost every penny of it has been put into the company by officers, directors, or owed to officers, directors. I should mention also, we have one person that's accruing a salary of $500 a month, and I'm not accruing any salary. So we don't have a high burn rate. We've got debt of about 200,000, and the plan is to raise about $750,000 to $1 million Canadian dollars in the next 30 days, 45 days, and start exploration on this project as well as advance in a meaningful way 2 of our other projects with some geophysical programs that we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is the project in Argentina, but I know your former flagship or your flagship project is this in PC, this Kaplan, is it
Yeah. Yes, the Captain project.
Captain project. What you're doing with then a special that is, I think it is a porphyry gold copper style project, and a special copper is also broken out, and it looks like that we're going higher.
Right.
So, do you have any plans also on the Captain project?
Yes, we've got a geophysical program that we'd like to do this summer, which will help us better define a second porphyry target. But our first porphyry target is permitted and drill ready. It is a quite large porphyry target. It is buried, so it's not exposed at the surface. And we'd like to put 2 or 3 drill holes into that this year. Those drill holes are $250,000 to $300,000 each. But the target is very, very large, 5, 10 million ounce potential, maybe 20 million ounce potential. There's a lot of room. It's a big target area. So we're going to be advancing that and subject to money, because in juniors, money is always hard to raise. We'd like to drill that target as well.
Yeah, I know porphyries are really this big elephants where the big ones hunting for, but it's cost always a lot to find it and then to drill it out. And it's a large
That's right.
system.
But once you put the big discovery hole into it, the first discovery hole, money is usually less of a problem because the industry wants big deposits or cash flow today or big deposits. And so that's where the Captain project, I think, would serve us well and serve shareholders well. With that discovery, it may cost 30 or 50 million to drill the deposit off, but you're doing it with $2, $3, $4, $5 share price, not 5-cent share price.
So that's mean their focus is the Argentina project. It's easier to drill something out with less money and create wealth for the shareholders than before you go and hunting the big elephant.
That's right. As far as drilling out Argentina, it's not going to be, so to speak, today, tomorrow. I mean, we're going to advance the project, but the Captain project, we'd like to drill those discovery holes this year, not 3 years down the road. So right now, it's raising money in the marketplace, and I've been involved with, and the team has been involved with numerous successes. We have a lot of contacts. At a time like this, it's still not necessarily easy to raise money. But as we move forward, that will be the key to success, is how full can we keep the coffers, and how much work can we complete with the money we raise.
David, I think this was a great update, I must say, and it's not our first interview, but it looks like that we hopefully have really good times in ahead of us, especially with this Argentina project. I think it looks really that this is easier to execute, I must say, and hopefully when the market is in a good shape, then we can raise much more money.
That's right. But we've got the metals going in the right direction, and I've been involved in gold or the mining market since 1985. Late February, it was gold was $289, and it was a cycle low. So I've seen many lows and many highs. I took a company public, Nevada Pacific, in March, and in July of that year, gold hit another bottom of $250 an ounce. So we're at the beginning stages of a bull market in junior resource stocks. And we're a lot closer to the bottom than we are the top. I mean, we're just getting started, and attention is just starting to come into the juniors. They're falling less on news, and actually even going up. So we're at the beginning stages here, and I would encourage your followers to go to our website and review our PowerPoint presentation. And I would welcome any questions, and let's move forward.
Perfect. Sounds great. Ja, eine kurze Zusammenfassung. Also, neues Projekt in Argentinien. Es ist Open Pit, Heap Leachable, und es ist ein altes Projekt, das in den 90er Jahren gefunden worden ist. Damals war 1 Gramm Durchschnitt. Und das Problem war, dass das eigentlich falsch gebohrt worden ist. Also da sind dann Bohrungen gemacht worden, aber die Bohrungen sind parallel zur Struktur gemacht worden und nicht quer zur Struktur. Das ist eigentlich der Kernfehler, weil wie soll man herausfinden, was in dieser Struktur drinnen ist, wenn man parallel zu der Struktur bohrt, sondern man muss quer zu der Struktur bohren. Das schaut sehr gut aus, und sie haben die falsche Bohrmethode gehabt. Sie haben Core gebohrt, nicht RC. Und ja, das schaut sehr gut aus. Sie raisen jetzt Money, ungefähr 750.000 bis 1 Million. Das reicht, damit sie dort quasi die Exploration vorantreiben möchten. Allerdings ist das neue Projekt, erstens mal Argentinien ist klar, kommt wieder im Fokus durch den Präsidenten, durch den Umbruch. Jeder geht jetzt nach Argentinien runter, und dort sind einfach viele Projekte, die in den 90er Jahren schon auch gefunden worden sind, die allerdings dann einfach in den letzten 20 Jahren liegen gelassen worden ist, weil es einfach nicht möglich war, dort richtig zu arbeiten. Und das ist eines davon. Da ist schon einiges getan worden, da fängt man nicht bei Null an, man weiß, dass dort was ist. So, und das ist eigentlich jetzt, und die ersten Ergebnisse sind heute bekannt gegeben worden. 11 Proben von 20 Oberflächenproben haben über 6 Gramm ergeben. Das ist relativ viel, auch wenn an der Oberfläche durch die Verwitterung und so weiter der Grad ein bisschen höher ist. Aber wenn unterhalb 1 Gramm, 2 Gramm drinnen sind, dann ist es hervorragend. Teilweise haben sie scheinbar früher bei Bohrungen 3,6 Gramm, weil es sind 2 oder 3 sind quer also durch diese Zone durchgebohrt worden. Und ich meine, wenn man 3,6 Gramm hat, da braucht man nicht wirklich reden. So, aber was auch spannend ist, sie haben das Captain Projekt noch in BC. Das ist ein Riesenporphyry, wirklich ein Elefant. Und das ist ja eigentlich das, was noch die großen Sorgen. Und er hat in den letzten Jahren nie genug Geld gehabt, das zu bohren. Es sind wahrscheinlich 2 Porphyry dort, deswegen wollen sie jetzt Geophysik auch in diesem Sommer machen. Das kann man relativ einfach dazu machen. Aber diese Grafik sagt das eigentlich am besten aus. Da erwartet man den Porphyry, und sie müssen einmal quasi durchbohren oder anbohren, dann ist auch das Geld kein Problem. Er sagt, das ist von einem Bohrkern, der allerdings seitlich davon gegangen ist. Sie sieht nur, man hat ein paar Bohrungen daneben. Das sind die Ausläufer dieser Porphyrys, aber das Zentrum des Porphyrys ist noch nicht gefunden worden. Und danach ist quasi ein Airborne Magnetics gemacht worden, und so schaut quasi die Magnetik dazu aus. Und jetzt geht es darum, dass man einfach einmal in der Mitte reinhittet, weil dann schaut es dementsprechend ganz anders aus. Ja, also 2 Projekte, sehr gute Projekte. Die Marktkapitalisierung ist nichts. Ich glaube 62 Millionen Aktien sind draußen. Wir haben jetzt eine Marktkapitalisierung, glaube ich, die liegt irgendwo bei ein paar Millionen. Ja, das ist halt das Problem, was wir im Junior-Markt haben. Wenn sie hitten, geht es natürlich durch die Decke. Wenn sie nicht hitten, also wenn sie kein Geld haben, dann vegetieren sie einfach dahin, und das sieht man halt genau jetzt in diesem Kursverlauf. Das ist ein dahin vegetieren, und jetzt kommt es davon auf, wird sie zum Leben erweckt oder nicht. Das werden wir jetzt dann sehen. Wie gesagt, ich bin Aktionär. Ich werde auch sicher beim nächsten Private Placement mitmachen, aber ja, das ist halt, muss man mal schauen, dass man jetzt einmal raufkommt. Und ja, interessantes Ergebnis. Und ja, das war's. Heute ist der 27. März 2025, und das war's von mir und den David Hottman. David, thank you for your time. Was very interesting update. Good luck with all the exploration,
Okay.
and also good luck with the raising of the money. And yeah, if you have new results, it will be great if you can do an update so that my people get a better information about what's going on in Argentina, or maybe also on a Captain project in BC.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.